able to operate without much of a laning phase, most likely.
Yeah, also worth noting that Bane did get a small buff in 7.06. His Ags now puts Brain Sap on a 1.5 second cooldown with spell immunity piercing. So we Oracle now, fam. But Faceless is gonna complete the first phase of our draft here with the 4th pick. We're gonna see the clockwork again, presumably by KP out of the newbie side.
The Bane and Jakiro, it's interesting. They're similar in the sense that they're both supports with good lane presence and like good bodies, as they take a lot of punishment. Obviously, what you just said about the Bane being able to trade, this is a hero that you would see other than Mouse Sports. The only other hero that I have, the only other team that I have a deep impression picking this hero more than anybody else was actually EG. Not so much recently, but it was kind of a
the Zai off lane or like really greedy Bane,
right? Or even in the PP days, it was kind of like a win lane type of support.
Yeah.
So that's in keeping with what Newbee has tried to do over the last few drafts, over the last few games. So, but then in terms of scaling potential, in terms of the AOE, the other setup that the Jakiro provides on not just a single target level, I feel like Newbee may be going with the same philosophy in this draft that they have been in the last few games.
There was the Ogre. I really like that as an open. I think double support opens are very strong, and that's a hero that they just get tremendous value out of. You saw the Ogre just bullying the SF mid, and the mid Pudge just was not able to affect that lane. With Bane, by the way, there's a little bit of a meme in the last patch that was so amusing to me as a numbers guy, that Bane's the only hero in the game that has equal stat growth on all three. And so when they gave everybody a 0.3 strength growth, they actually buffed Bane's int and energy growth to keep them the same.
Oh, Valve.
I know. Ice Frog, Puck,
Do it for the
420
memes.
GPM. Yep.
Night Stalker, well, how many other offlaners do you think Ice has there in the tank that's willing to operate without much of a laning phase?
I just think it's a trap
Off-lane
that
Tusk?
you fall into.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Ice is like he's not gonna go to like the very last pick and surprise pick this 5th offlaner that no one's ever seen before. Like eventually, if he feels like the pool's running low, he's gonna pick his hero. Right. So obviously he doesn't feel like the pool is low. If he gets double banned here, he thinks there's still a 3rd hero he can pick up for himself. So I don't think you need to address that so much. But Night Stalker is an effective hero though versus Bane, because you have 2 different forms of disable to be able to interrupt the Fiend's Crypt. Jesus, it's been so long. I've seen that hero. I forgot the name of the ability.
I don't blame you. One other issue that they had on the newbie side, I felt, in the last game was they really only had the clockwork to get the Lifestealer into fights. That he had to hit a hook shot in order to get that Infest Bomb off. I really would like to see a little bit more initiation options on the side of newbie this game.
Do you think this means, because there's Bane, do you think that means that your mid can't be, like, it has to have some sort of wave spam?
Magical burst?
Yeah, because if you're just a right-clicking mid, which, not many mids are going to be that, but if you are just a right-clicking mid and you're dealing with Enfeeble and you're not getting any of these last hits and the enemy mid's getting all the denies.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I know, like,
and that maybe is what they were thinking with the Bane, leaving the Ogre in the pool that gave them so much trouble in the last match as a dual mid. Maybe their thought here was, okay, fine, you want to go 2v2 mid again, we'll pick the Bane. That's a hero that has even more impact on your core mid than the Ogre's going to have on ours.
Even the Shadow Fiend, if it was taken, it kind of negates those souls very quickly with Enfeeble up. So
yeah.
The newbie going to go to a hero that's worked well for Faceless in the last match and honestly worked very well throughout the tournament. Just seems very well suited to this patch, and the Troll can be run safe lane or mid, maybe preference for safe lane. But with the tempo that we're seeing these games played, those 20-minute pushes, Troll's so valuable. And Roche.
So talking about teams kind of like, sticking to their own style and trying to develop that versus a maybe broader view and trying to figure out what's strong. Like, Newbee did receive some criticism on that front as well. I think a lot of these heroes that were popular or slower to embrace Troll was one of those as well. This team didn't play it as much. It's become much more popular in China recently. Other teams, like even IG and other teams, have been running it much more frequently, and Newbee were a bit slow to embrace that compared to some of the other squads in the region.
Trying to think if they, because the best thing about this is when people lock themselves into Ice's heroes is that Jabs has a lot of freedom for his mid pickups. Last game in the 3-4, he had both OD and Tinker that were available to him that were both very well suited, I think, to the game. And he's got the same situation here.
Yeah, this is just flat out nasty. Faceless going to come back with an absolute classic in the Ice Tidehunter.
Deals well with Troll.
Yeah, and it is telling. I think that point that you were just making is a really good one, in that Faceless, which is a team that's had problems with the limitations of their hero pool mid, actually feels good enough to then ban 2 mid heroes themselves in the second phase.
Yeah, like you've got Jakiro and Ogre. OD is great with those 2 heroes because you have Imprison that sets up Ice Path, and then you also have a damage amplifier in the Ogre's Bloodlust for OD, which is fantastic as well. And then they're both supports that secure your lane, which is good for OD as well. I don't know. I'm feeling like Newbee are kind of letting Faceless get a very similar draft, and they just think that they're going to be able to make the corrections to be able to deal with it.
Well, I mean, honestly, apart from the Pudge 4th pick in the previous draft, I don't know that that's too terribly wrong. There are situations where, you know, we had plenty of this the brief period I coached last year, where you just go back and you say, look, our draft wasn't that bad. We screwed up. You know, we maybe fix one thing and we execute better. Sometimes that is the answer.
It's hard to play fast. If you're looking at Newbee's lineup, I think Tidehunter is one of those heroes that if you play fast, you can exploit that obvious weakness, where he's a Ravage machine, and that's kind of it. But it's hard to, because your laning phase is just not going to go well against Jakiro and Ogre. And even if you do have a laning phase that is successful, even 15 minutes, they're hard heroes to play into, simply because it takes so much to bring these supports down, and they're still able to lay out a good amount of damage. It creates a lot of room for your damage dealing cores if these 2 supports are the first thing you see in lane.
Speaking of damage, I was pretty concerned initially in this draft with Newbee's emphasis on that, because once again, they have control and source of damage in the supports that don't really scale that well. And then as far as it all being single target damage for the first 3 picks, and then if you have to zero in on something to be able to bring it down, that's not a good look against the Tidehunter, who isn't really afraid of these heroes for the most part if he has even a decent start.
There's the Tinker again.
There it is. They're just super confident in their mid picks now.
So
this Enigma presumably moves Clockwork over to the 4?
Yeah, I think Clockwork... I thought they were going to rotate the Clockwork into a 4 position last time because they needed a very strong laning phase focused support. I think Clockwork does that for you as soon as he gets level 2.
Yep.
Has some problems level 1, but that's okay. Bane is good setup for the Clockwork as well. You're able to close the distance for your Cogs combination. And then on top of that, we now have Newbee with some leeway in their draft. Like, they can afford bad execution in their strategy because of the fact that they have potentially better late game, or at least they have a lot more cushion for late game, because they're going to have, like we were talking about, it was like, what was it, Enigma, Darkseer, like those kind of very self-sufficient offlaners or very active offlaners. It seems like those are the 2 flavors of offlane right now. And that is the flavor that Enigma brings. A lot slower, a lot more laning focus. It might mean that they need a tempo hero for SCC mid.
Yeah, which gets them into problems. That's not been their wheelhouse necessarily.
I could see some options. I could see potentially an Ember Spirit for them. I think that's the hero that he's played a decent amount. There's not too much hard luck.
Whoa, there it is. So Black had actually been playing this hero in his pubs. He'd been trying it out. I know he's had at least 3 games on this hero in the couple days leading up to the event. Is this a hero that it kind of reminds me of Oracle in that a lot of teams just think can work, but we haven't necessarily seen it. I mean, OG ran it a couple times at Kiev, did not look promising.
Oh,
I don't like Argorn.
They're running it at DAC as well, in the sense that, it seems like a greedy hero in some ways, but I like it for several reasons. One, the Spirits being able, the Wraiths being able to provide a lot of vision, so it's going to help counter some of the rotations and ganks, and ultimately, again, with the single target damage sources for the most part coming out from Newbee, could be an issue dealing with that. If you manage to get that hero going, there is a bit of a split push element to him as well, so I could see the uses of this hero in this lineup.
And as the last pick comes in, the last pick of the draft will be the Queen of Pain for SCCC, so the tempo aspect that you guys talked about, the Queen of Pain does offer something to you in that regard. Looking at this Game 2 draft, what do you guys think? Can Newbee stay alive in this tournament?
Pop was the only tempo hero that was left, but I think the Faceless's heroes are really tanky. It's hard for Quap to be able to deal with them, excluding Tinker and Arc Warden. But the other three that are really problematic in the first 20 minutes are kind of hard to deal with. How much lockdown do they have?
I feel like there's too much pressure to get on top of the Arc Warden. So once it's almost like last game. Newbee has to have a dominant early game and has to become a win for them fairly quickly. Otherwise, I think late game the problems become just twofold in terms of dealing with the Faceless core.
So you guys are sold on the Arc Warden. This is probably going to be a safe lane Arc Warden as opposed to the mid version that we saw from OG.
I think Newbee's just not playing well enough.
All right,
so
Faceless?
Faceless.
I'm with Faceless again as well.
All right, let's make it a clean sweep. The panel surprisingly believing in the Arc Warden pick. We're going to send it over our casters. Here are Coddle Guy and Lacoste.
Thank you, Nahaz. Lacoste, it looks like another sweet, delicious treat for us. We got Ravages, we got Black Holes, and then suddenly an Arc Warden shows up out of nowhere, first time in the tournament, and apparently it's going to be a black special. What is your take on this?
About Arc Warden, we saw him during Kiev Major. I think 0% win. This game, I feel it might be a Arc Warden game. I love the Faceless lineup again. Pretty much they have the same three heroes again. 4-head strat with damage over time. Tidehunter instead of Night Stalker being that frontliner for them. I'm afraid a bit for the no real disable for Queen of Pain. And nothing during the mid game once Enigma gets his BKB up.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying to keep a watchful eye on KP Enigma. It's not something I feel like I see very often. Normally I see KP on those action-packed kind of heroes, the Sand Kings who are able to kind of set up a lot for the team and get back out. Not one of these kind of heroes where it's like, I have the black hole factor and it's like one and done. I better make this black hole kind of count. I'm really excited about it. He's a polished kind of a player, and we'll see what he's going to be able to pull out here. But most of the panel feeling like this game to belong with Faceless, maybe even more concerned about Newbee's recent performances and how they've been trending. We're going to see if Faceless can pull out what would have been considered a pretty big upset leading into the tournament.
Yeah, didn't see much of KP's Enigma, but what makes him a good player and that he can initiate good in and out, what he's been doing really well, even though Newbee doesn't seem that strong, is his positioning in team fight. So I expect a really good Enigma this game.
Also, the first pick Bane, something we haven't seen yet this tournament. The panel talked a lot about it, how he's such a wonderful lane bully. Certainly
he is the best lane bully.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
He's the only hero that can actually trade hits against a hero like a Treant.
I mean, what is it to that? I mean, obviously he has the power of the Brain Sap to be able to just do good early bursts of pure damage, plus being able to supplement the life he lost. They reduce the mana cost, so he's able to get it more freely. Plus, if things really get out of whack, he can always just put out the sleep, too. So he has just a really great tool belt here, and already XY feeling it a bit.
Yeah, the last game started with 2 versus 2 on mid. Now they decided to go for the greatest hero 1v1, even 2-on-2, just the best harassment they can get. Low cooldown on that spell, low mana cost, pure damage. He also has a good right click, 65 damage. Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's up there for supports. Man, the Frog has been giving a lot of love into the support right click, that's for sure. It'd be a scary day when these supposed support heroes start turning into core heroes and we see back to the Xiao Shaman mid lane days or even Bane mid lane days. But for now, Faith continues to round the corner and just kind of be a bit of an impact there. We had witnessed briefly earlier Ice 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 in that Tidehunter top lane matchup. He came into the lane with 8 tangos. He was anticipating he was going to be eating a lot of harassment here and is just hoping to be a big durable beast who can just soak in the early XP.
Yeah, offlaners right now need to adapt. Most of them were buying PMS plus 1 set of tangos. Of course, Tidehunter is not a natural PMS carrier because of his second spell, so he can skip it and buy some more region. Even the other ones can just go for a Stout Shield, a pack of Tangos, and 1 Flask.
The offlane game has certainly changed quite a bit in this recent patch. And now they're seeing a new itemization as they take a new approach to the lane and maybe just dishing out a bit more money and getting the extra sustain consumables, if you will. Looks like our Invis Rune's going to be through at the bottom lane. And they're going to make the shift down there. It's a fight for it as Bane is going to get the first grab on it. And we'll take that back through the mid lane right now. Faceless kind of doing a lot of what we saw in the previous game with their 4-headed duo here. Just kind of continue to dance them throughout the mid lane and back, allowing the Arc Warden to be able to do his thing, and same goes for Ice 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 here. The second they step in and get some hard hits onto jabs is when the Ogre steps in and trades the same onto SCCC. So feeling like a little bit of a mirror match at the moment.
Yeah, it's been 3 minutes, duo lanes mid. I think this might be the new thing.
Yeah, there's no more
patch.
solo mids. Yeah, it's a duo mid and then solo on the side and a little bit of everything in between. At least that's how it feels for now. I'm sure mid laners are not happy about that. But so strong laning supports are definitely in the meta once again. So expect to see lots more of the Ogres, maybe more pickups of the Bane. The Jakira's already been incredibly powerful. Already. Casual stun out. It's going to force Faith back a bit, and that can turn her sights onto SCCC. He'll have to chew through a extra bit of health, and will finally be forced to step on off. But would you agree with the panel in that Newbee need to be the team to get a lot more in the laning phase if they really want to see success in this game through the later portion of it? Is it pressure on them to get more done?
They don't have that super early dominant heroes. Okay, they have Bane, but their heroes need levels and items to actually be effective.
Ooh, Faith is able to get off that sleep, and suddenly he's going to be fine. Any other hero would have been in trouble right there, but he's got that sleep power. He's going to be short on mana, so he may have to take the long journey all the way back to heal on up. Ice, 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 Tidehunter. We probably will be seeing a lot more of those backpedals come out. He is no shame in dishing out the taunt play here if it means a little bit of extra mind games. And Nuts even. Bit invasive here. Looking to move in. Snags up the bounty rune. Takes it away from Newbee. And TP's back home. Mischievous Faceless off to a hot start now.
Yeah. Tinker had to go base TP, giving Ogre some XP and gold on that mid lane.
Bane's back now. And rotations are coming over. It's Kaka on that clockwork. He's got a couple levels. The pings are already going to be there. If he can get close enough for the cogs, it'd be trouble, but they're going to put their sights onto the Ogre. It's set up with the sleep from Faith. They move in, and they're going to get it done. First blood goes to Newbee. Nice little setup with the sleep.
Yeah, their duo mid lane don't have much synergy with sleep. Then you use a Shadow Strike. It makes no sense with a rotation from clockwork. They set up a pretty good gank.
And then the rotation party is going to head all the way up north right after it. On the back of a smoke, they want to get the jump onto Ice, Ice, Ice here. And first they'll lead in. They get the ops for the extra bit of vision. They'll see him around the corner, and they make their move. They drop down the cogs. They hit him with a battery assault, and then Mugi steps in to start tomahawking it, and then they get the takedown. It's Faith who picks up the last hit, and Newbee are suddenly up 2-0 at the start of this one.
Arc Warden, what's he building into? Probably Hand of Midas, classic build, double Midas. Oh.
Yeah, whether Midas Gaming is still going to be relevant or not in this patch, Arc Warden is certainly going to be a hero who I imagine will continue to pick it up. I personally never have played Arc Warden. He's too new school for me. Are you kind of the same?
I played Arc Warden once. It was, I random something, didn't like, re-random, got him, and I actually won the game.
All right.
2 Necro books. It's not a popular build anymore, but...
That was the old super filthy build. I remember seeing a certain Lil of VP play a ridiculous amount of Arc Warden back in the day, and he would do kind of that Necro build up. We even saw people get rapiers and such. The heroes felt very abusive back in the day. Since then, obviously, the Frog had fine-tuned him quite a bit, and since then has found himself in some occasional competitive matches. People were talking about it before. OG had some off-and-on success with it at Kiev, but here we see in the Hands of Black something he'd been sporting in pubs recently, the safe lane Arc Warden, but now we have action breaking out, a rotation going to be coming in. Kaka TPs towards the shrine, and they're going to be looking to open up onto XY here. and it will prove to be successful. But, you know, we've been seeing these in a lot of these Ogre games. That's just kind of what they do. They move in there. They're able to kind of cause a bit of trouble, create a bit of space. They end up losing their life, but the impact they're able to make tends to pan out worth it.
Bane, he should be more popular in this patch. Got some love from the Frog. Okay.
Yep, sleep. Immediate TP's coming out, though. The Ogre looking to show up, but they've already dropped down the cogs as CCC's got the Sonic Wave and is able to take down the Freak.
This is exactly what they needed, what they lacked in the game number 1, just those rotations from Kaka and Fate. They already used 2 smokes, and Bane is just the perfect hero to set it up.
KP has recently reached his level 6, so the black hole is now something to think about here if you're Faceless. But they are still pretty diligent on the 2 opposite sides of the map. That Ice continues to truck on forward on his build-up, and Black does the same.
Yeah, interesting build on Troll. He decides to go for Max the Fervor and Orb of Venom, because that way he deals the most of the damage to a hero like a Tidehunter who has a Kraken Shell. So if he goes for Whirling Axis, it's a bad build actually, and he doesn't deal that much of a damage. With the right click, especially with Phase Boots on, that's the most damage output for him.
It's good recognition right there for Newbee to be able to try to make the most out of the laning matchup they were given and making the appropriate adjustment. It's already earned them the 1 takedown of Ice earlier. Now we see Jab's able to kind of sidestep, grabs up the bounty rune, and he's going to take some time to probably march his way through a jungle and leave XY with the mid lane to try to get some levels on his Ogre as we get closer to that 10-minute mark. The supports are going to need that extra bit of lovin', but here on the bottom, Black also gets his level 6, so we're going to see the Tempest double start coming out now. And he can dish in that Tempest double very, very aggressively. We saw it diving past that tier 1 already. Trying to be a bully back to KP, but I'm curious to see how long it's going to take before we see this Arc Warden hit his stride and what Black has up his sleeve with it. But top lane is we're going to see things get a bit frisky here. Rotation's going to be forced out. Jabs, or Nuts rather, does have to hit the cog here, but it looks like they are making their move in for Kaka. SCCC is waiting in Viz. Doesn't have a Sonic Wave quite yet, though. We'll try to dish out some minor damage, but it's going to be forced to blink away. Nice takedown, and Faceless will finally get a kill on the board, and it's a 3-times kill streak that actually Kaka was sporting.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jabs on mid just continues to farm the lane, pushes the lane, and goes back into the forest, continue to farm on that Tinker. Arc Warden has Hand of Midas finished already, so that's a good timing. Enigma actually denied a lot of creeps for him, so 8-minute mark.
Uh-oh. Here comes Kaka. Just after being taken down, he's looking to go back into action, and the black hole of the game is going to be coming out right now. It grabs not just 1, but 2 Arc Wardens, and they're going to get the black takedown. His Tempest double will go down right after that. And it's Newbee now pulling ahead 5-1.
When you're playing Arc Warden, you really need to be careful about controlling those illusions. It's 180 gold.
It's a lot of money, and I believe his Midas was just getting ready to come off cooldown as well, so good chunk of change going to be falling out of the pockets of Black right there. Kaka now a hook shot in as he looks to get a grab, a hold of Nuts. Can he bring him apart? Nuts, though, very durable. Going to be able to bounce himself away. A sleep will come in as Jabs is trying to help things out. Black's now showed up, TPing in towards the shrine, and they're looking to make their move. Can they get Kaka down with the help of XY? Burning through him in that Ignite. They can't quite get it. Eventually the cogs will be dropped, and the clockwork will be fine. He pops out a salve, and all is well.
Yeah, also one thing Newbee needs to be careful about is once Tinker gets his items up, like during the mid game, and Arc Warden just providing vision with Spark Rate, those rocket combos could be really deadly.
There is good synergy, and we could almost see that. I think it was in Liquid's first series matchup where it felt like they were losing the other part of the game, but once the items started coming together, once the levels started coming together, then the real potential began to shine, and it almost felt like they were outmatched. I don't know. Do you think there's that kind of chance here in this game? Is there going to be a point where even if they're down towers, and let's say they even get down to like 7K net worth, just Faceless over time and their draft will just suddenly hit its stride?
Faceless draft needs more time to kick in. They need some more items on Tidehunter, probably a mech just to tank up. They need a Tinker BOTs first and more items.
there's certainly no denying that there's just a lot of nourishment that's going to be needed on Faceless' side. It's just a matter of how much time are they going to be given to do so. How much are Newbee going to be able to get in the map or across the map and in this early game before then? Top lane, they're actually currently jumping onto Ice, Ice, Ice. A dive committed between Mugi and Kaka. Ice, Ice, Ice with very little options of escape. He does have a TP. He's got to wait out that battery assault, but there's going to be other options to be able to stop him, and the bash is easily there. Mugi chops down the watermelon.
You gotta predict it. When you're playing a hero who has a bash, you just write bash or just say it out loud. And there's 20% chance more to
it's
actually
like
get it.
It's like in basketball when you have to shoot and you have to call bank shots, you know? You have to call bank. Otherwise, it's just not cool. Calls out the bash. Gets the takedown. 1-6 already. A pretty damn good head start here for Newbee. Boots of Travel are getting super close here for Jabs. Just needs a little bit more time. Should be able to get it here with one more march down the mid lane.
Yeah, well, Faceless, early game, okay, they have Jakiro and Ogre, but they couldn't achieve much. So one is level 4, the other one is level 5.5. On the other side, you have Bane, who's level 7, and Clock, who's also level 7 and has a decent amount of farm. So. And you also have a Arc Warden who went for Midas, of course, so he needs some more time to actually be stronger. Right now, he's really vulnerable.
Yeah, everybody in Newbee are getting their hands dirty, so they're getting rewarded with a lot of free XP and a lot of good levels, and really outmatching Faceless at this moment. And already moving in is going to be Kaka. Gets an easy setup right there. Him and SCCC will take down XY. Jabs waiting behind that tier 1 tower. He's got to get out of there quick. They'll spot him. Are they going to cancel? Yes! They get him with the Malfist, and he's not going to be going anywhere. Sonic Wave, an emphatic finish on top of it. Rotating in is going to be Ice, Ice, Ice. He helps get at least a little bit of return fire with a takedown of Kaka, but good heads-up play from KP. He just uses the Midnight Pulse to just demolish all the trees and spot where that pesky Tinker is.
Yeah, good play there by Enigma, but they managed to take down Bane. Tinker got off two sets of marches. Also, good rotation from Newbee. Mugi is getting that Roche with... well, Troll can easily kill Roche with just Vlads, and he went for a different build, maxed out his first and the third spell, so it's easy to take him down.
They've spotted Ogre again. He's going to get hit with the Brain Sap. He walks out and away. Under the cover, can he make it to safety? He is. He's finding a safe home on the side of the Newbee map. He doesn't have a TP quite yet. He'll have to wait out the 30 seconds. But it looks like he's safe for now. I just don't know where he's going to consider going in the meantime. It looks like he'll eventually be able to creep his way back down south because an approach is coming from Newbee's side. Mugi, who recently acquired that Aegis, him and his posse are looking to come down here and claim a tier 1. Who's waiting behind the tower, though, is the other question. Nuts will veer his 2 heads out from the trees and quickly get killed. Ice 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 is like, I'm good, I'll TP home.
He needs to get out there. With Yasha and Aegis on that Troll, they might even continue going for tier 2 tower on bottom. We still have to see more of Arc Warden, and there was still not a single Ravage. So what Faceless should do is just try to play it defensively until the items and the levels kick in.
Uh-oh, another sleep setup potentially. Faith chasing down Jabs a bit. SCCC is not going to quite catch the nuke damage there. It looks like Jabs will be able to make it away to safety. But that's when Nuts steps in, gets some poking damage onto Faith. And when they clicked on Black there, it looks like his buildup is going to be into a Maelstrom next. So they'll have lots of ways to at least spam out these waves. If Newbee gets to the point where they're pushing down tier 2s and even considering an approach to the high ground, they have ways to kind of, you know, split farm a bit and force Newbee to kind of be stalled.
Yeah, with Maelstrom, maybe Mjolnir later on, if the game drags past, let's say, 30 minutes, if you cast like a Mjolnir, one on Ogre, one on Tidehunter, that's going to be so much damage.
Poor Nuts. He really had nowhere safe to run. He tried to find a clever path up and through the Newbee territory, but they immediately pulled 2 towards the shrine, and Jakiro goes down. It is feeling like such a tough game for the support staff of Faceless. I don't know how many times, but this Ogre and Jakiro have been killed many, many times.
both Ogre and Jakiro under-leveled at this point of the game, and they don't have any defensive item, especially against a hero like a Clockwork who can take them down easily, solo, just one-on-one. They need to be careful moving around the map. Also, we didn't mention, oh, KP finds Ogre.
Yes, he does. He's got that new Blink Dagger. Spots out XY, hits with a Midnight Pulse, and there's a buttload of Eidolons just happy to bring him down. KP will be able to get the last hit and the kill, and Newbee are on the up and up. More impressive showing we've been seeing than all tournament, 11-3, and a nearly 5.5K net worth advantage. Mugi in the mid lane still has that Aegis. They're going to dish out a couple of spells, but they can't really pursue.
KP is super farmed this game. He has 0 deaths, Blink Dagger and Hand of Midas plus 1k gold on top of that.
Yeah, this Enigma's getting quite gross. Nice jump from the balcony, comes out from Kaka. The follow-up Black Hole is also going to be there. Put a Sonic Wave on top, and you have a delicious ass-kicking Sunday. They move forward. They're going to get the takedown of Ice Ice Ice. They're hoping to get more here. The turnaround, though, an attempt to move in for Kaka. As that happens, they do end up losing Nuts. XY will also drop, and it's a significant fight once again for Newbee as they trade it 3-1, and we'll follow it up with a +1 and an objective takedown of that Tier 1 tower.
With that Black Hole on solo Tidehunter, that's exactly what they needed. You can't focus a Tidehunter. That's the only way, actually, and they had nothing to stop it. There's not a single point. Okay, there is one actually on Ice Pad, but Jakiro was not near, and Ogre stun.
Newbee just find a wonderful opening and are able to capitalize, and it earns them a 3-kill and a Tier 1 tower. And now they can double back and play the cooldown game where possible. The Aegis is obviously going to be expiring very soon, I'd imagine. I don't think there's going to be a new opportunity to Newbee to try to take advantage of that, but with Tier 1s all totally taken care of, they can kind of look at what's next for them. And that is going to be an Orchid soon complete for SCCC. Hook shot to fly in, finds a catch. We're not looking at it, but it is going to be Nuts going down. Kaka, though, could be next. Pops out his Blade Mill, gets a swing in here. It's Ice 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 who's able to bring him down. Actually, Jabs gets that last hit. So a support trade. One for Faceless.
What Newbee needs to do right now is just try to smoke up and get those Tier 2 towers down. Especially they have, okay, the Aegis is gone, but with the new Black Hole, they should try to take those Tier 2 towers down.
BKB is going to be next up for KP, and at that point, there's not going to be much to stop him from getting those Black Holes off. No Ice Path, no Ignite, no nothing like that. Jabs will try to supplement as best as possible. Is there something to say? I mean, I was lightly mentioning it earlier, but there is really a lot of split push potential on Faceless's lineup. You have the Tinker and this Arc Warden with Maelstrom. So, I mean, is there a way they could stall this out? Is there a way they can rat this out?
Yeah, definitely. Their heroes have a good split push. But thing is, look at the slow on Team Faceless. Imagine, okay, let's talk about if the game drags, Troll Warlords, BKB drops to 5 seconds, they get some Force Staffs. It's so easy to cut around with all that kind of a slow. Liquid Fire, Dual Breath, what else is there? Flux, Gush, Ignite.
Wow. Yeah. When you really list them out there, it seems quite ridiculous on the side of Faceless. The problem is if they're going to be able to get to that point in the game, they're really going to be shooting for the later innings. And at 20 minutes in, this one still feels pretty heavy-handed for Newbee at the moment. They're going to be hitting that stride. And Faceless are just going to be biding time as best as possible. If Newbee are going to slow their roll, then it's only going to be for the better of the Radiant. But there's a lot of big items also coming together for Newbee. I already mentioned the Orchid complete for SCCC. And on top of that, he actually does have an Invis bottled up. So he has easy kill potential on any sort of support. They're picking out the mid lane. Ice is there. He's probably not the best one to go for, but there is kill potential for sure here for Newbee.
Yeah, they might find... all right, Tidehunter is gone. Never mind. He's not brought down easily. Kraken Shell.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it except that Black Hole.
All right, here Faceless coming together. The most we've seen them come together, it feels like, in this game. A 4-man move through the bottom lane to take down the Tier 1. And Jabs is looking to come help him out. Faith is here now. A quick blink back, though. Faith is not going to be able to get the snatch. He was hoping to go for a Fiend's Grip. It's not going to be available to him. Now gets hit with the multicast and the Flux, and he should be going down and will. Black gets that one in. The Macro Pyre going to be laid out. This Tier 1 set to fall in a moment. Kaka,
another
can they
rocket.
get him with the Wraith? Yes, they will. He ends up getting dropped. It's going to be Jabs, though, who secures it with the rocket. And Faceless take their what feels like first promising fight of this game. 2-0 trade.
Yeah, there's the combo I was talking about, just giving the vision with the Spark Rate plus rockets tied in the first line.
That's cool.
I mean, you can't focus the tide. He has a mech, so he's just buying time for his team. And the slow siege coming out from Faceless right now.
This could earn him the 2 kills and 2 towers. That's a nice bring back right there for Faceless at the moment. Ooh, Jabs. Careful. Whew. Now, you gotta remember that. Queen of Pain has an Orchid and a Sonic Wave. Bottom lane, they will get the finish onto that Tier 2. It's Faceless who take the first Tier 2 of the game. And Newbee are, I don't want to say frantic, but they're diligently trying to scrap together those items so they can kind of continue the push forward this game as best as possible. That's KP here trying to finish out that BKB, and imagine the same goes for the Troll. They're already making their move, trying to get a hold of Ice Ice Ice. Can they do it? Malphus and Black Hole with the Troll chopping away, should easily get it done. Jab steps into action, dishes out a combo onto SCCC, but on the other front it's going to be KP blasted down. Jabs has the Dagon now complete.
Not sure that was worth it for Newbee. I mean, using a Black Hole there, okay, you get a hands on Tidehunter, but your Enigma is super farm, so you're giving away more gold, and that gold went to Black, actually.
Was KP able to complete the BKB, or did stall him from getting it now?
Oh, he got the BKB
He
already.
did get it, okay.
Yeah.
It's
Didn't have
something.
it there, yeah, but
yeah, of course.
After the kill, he got enough gold to buy it.
It would have been even a bigger loss if they lost KP and had to wait even longer to get a hold of those BKBs, but looks like they'll hold it for now. Troll's sitting on a serious amount of moolah. Uh-oh. Oh, God. I think Faith needs to find a friend and stick close to him. Anytime he shows himself in the lane alone like that, they could just quickly dive on in with this Arc Warden and Tinker combo. It's simply ruthless. And the Arc Warden now, he's got Shadow Blade, Boots of Travel. He's going to get out of hand real fast here. Kaka's able to make the move in, gets a good catch onto that Arc Warden, hits him with the Dust. Sonic Wave's going to be there. They get him with the Orchid. Ice 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 steps in, hits him with the Ravage, and tells him to just get the hell off their back. Forces Newbee out and away, and they're not going to be able to get the finish onto Black, and he will go right back home with Jabs.
Newbee just losing gold at gold advantage. They tried to focus down Arc Warden, but good reactions from Tidehunter. Mac nicely placed Ravage. Also, one little thing, Ogre used Earn to save that Arc Warden. There was one more Malefice stun which would have killed him, but he saved him there.
Attempted Q play from Jabs. I think he tried to plant a tree and juke around it, but he ends up going down, and they'll get a +1 on top of it, a nearby Nuts. Gonna get chopped right up. Oh, that sounds painful.
All right, it is Roche time, they say.
It is. And Mugi begins to go to work. That little Aegis icon by his name, I think I read somewhere that one of those just sold for like $1,200. Isn't that crazy?
Which one?
That little Aegis icon he has next to the life bar there, you know? Yeah, I guess you get that when you have like a really, really high compendium level, and then you can sell it for lots of money. Otherwise, you just look cool with it, like Mugi does right now.
Nice logic. You invest like $1,000 just to
get 1,200.
Yeah,
and you get 200 plus.
Mind blown.
Serious money-making potential. Regardless of the case, Newbee able to move in. They secure that Aegis, and all will be well for him. Man, Nuts is just happy to just clear right on out. This attempted push coming in. Eilon's barbecued up.
Oh, so I see. Arc Warden with his magnetic field, you need to get in to fight, and it's not a big space, so imagine hitting Jakiro's all of their spells, March of the Machine, all that slow.
Yeah.
You can't get close to it. Also, there's a Ravage. Jabs decided to go for like an all-in build with Dagon. So with all that slow, he can just blink in and try to like deal as much damage as possible. Again.
KP with the BKB now, moves in, gets the Black Hole onto Ice Ice Ice. He'll be taken out quick. And Newbee looking to follow up with a Tier 2 tower. Nuts moves in to rid of the creeps, and that with the March, they'll easily fend off the following push. Oh, they almost got Mugi there. But is it worth it? You know, another takedown for Ice Ice Ice. It costs him a BKB, a black hole, and they don't even get the tier 2 follow-up.
Yeah, but it's only a kill on Ice Ice Ice.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, the top lane.
Yeah, they move in. A hook from Kaka onto the creep wave will allow him to get closer to the Jakiro, and they'll take Nuts down.
The thing is, I mentioned during the pick phase, Faceless doesn't have a hero that can stop Enigma Black Hole. That's the biggest problem.
Looks like an AC will be the next build-up for SCCC, going for more of an objective follow-up. What do you think the mentality is between going straight for the AC now?
It's good. I mean, it's pretty much usual build on Queen of Pain. What you see.
I wonder if the Bloodthorn and the interaction with the magnetic field, would that be beneficial?
No, you need to get in.
You still have to get in, huh?
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's the same thing as MKB. You need to get in, as far as I know.
Ooh. Rocket out, going to be scouted there from Kaka. I think they were trying to go for a smoke move there. I don't know if it was spotted by Newbee. By the way their body language is, it doesn't look like they saw it. It looks like the rocket may have came just too late to see the smoke come out. And Faceless takes this opportunity to just run all the way up and through the Newbee territory. They plant down a couple of deep wards and begin to go to work on their own tier 2. Newbee could be considering their own trade here on the bottom. Faceless can push pretty damn fast with the benefit of that liquid fire in this Arc Warden.
Yeah, Bloodlusted Arc Warden with a bubble.
Wow.
With so much attack speed.
Okay, Mugi into action right now. Remember, he does have that Aegis. They can bring him down, but they're going to have to do it twice. Now they're going to be committing the magnetic field. Look who's been caught from behind, though. Kaka gets a hold of the real Black, locks him in place, hits him with the Blade Mail, and is going to be able to finish him off. Now SCCC moves into action on the back of a double kill, looking to get a hold of Ice 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 here. Ice 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 heads out in the other direction. The Ogre going to get taken down, too. Ice 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 knows he's done for, trying to backpedal his way out from this one. Jabs in the other direction, gets spotted. They move in with the Orchid, and they should be able to get the cleanup. It's an ultra kill for SCCC. Now blinking down, looking to move in. Can this man get a hold of a Ravage?
Black Hole.
Get that man the Ravage! Suck him in with the Black Hole and give it to him, baby!
Get this man a Rampage.
Oh, I said Ravage, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, well, there was a Ravage and there was a Rampage. Yeah, that's a hard fight to take. There was, 1, 2, 3 BKBs on the side of Newbee. And they have nothing. Pretty much everything they have is magical damage besides some of right-click damage from Arc Warden. And my screen died.
Come over here, my friend, and watch some Dota. Black trying to fend off a bit of the pressure here. The Troll happy to go in to the open arms of Black, but he's eating quite a bit of damage himself and heads out the other direction on the back end of his BKB. They were able to get the takedown of that tier 2 tower, though. And huge fight for Newbee to pull him back into this one. They were starting to lose a bit of that net worth advantage, but now they pull it back ahead here to about 11.5K.
Can't see if they took down Aegis. Okay, Queen of Pain also used Cheese in that fight. Their heroes are getting so big, and they got nothing to respond to those BKBs.
All right, Faceless trying to get back what they had been taken away. Momentum here. Smoke and a rush down through the mid lane. Looks like they will send the scan nearby. It will not catch. And they'll begin to head all the way up and on over here. It's a difficult approach, but it looks like they may stumble upon Kaka and be able to get at least the Clockwork takedown. Jabs needs to be careful. That Clockwork Blade Mail does so much work. Did a lot of work in the previous fight to the Arc Warden. There almost got Jabs. It looks like they will be able to get an exchange. SCCC gets the tick on that one. Beyond godlike for him as they push up into a 12K net worth advantage now. Faceless still not looking to back down, pressuring through this mid lane.
What Faceless needs and what they were lacking during all these fights was 2 4-steps on the side of...
Uh-oh. Whoops.
Whoa, what?
Used a Fiend's Grip, unfortunately, on a Ogre Illusion. So that Bane ulti will be down. But not the worst thing in the world for Newbee.
Yeah. The thing I was saying, they still lack some gold to finish those 2 4 staffs, which will help them a lot against heroes like Clockwork, Troll. Even if he scores a bash, just get him out of the focus.
I like the gem pickup now from Newbee. Want to be able to maintain control on the map here, maybe spot out any of the split pressure. Jump in from SCCC, but immediate Ravage, turn around, and they blast down SCCC. That is a 10 times kill streak, easily going to get picked up. Now Kaka able to lock down onto Jabs. Jabs able to get his way forced out from the trouble, but he runs right into Moogie, and Moogie's going to be able to easily handle him. Moogie moves in to get the Tempest double. Will get the finish there and the extra bit of money. XY will be next. It's a 2-for-2 trade.
Wow, the damage on Moogie right now is just ridiculous, especially with Whirling Axes. Again, Arc Warden can't really hit him with right clicks, so no Mjolnir procs, no damage.
When you factor in the bounty trade, though, feels pretty nice. Who ended up getting that last hit onto SCCC? Was it Jabs who ended up getting the big streak right there? It was XY to the Ogre.
Yeah, well, at least his 4 staff is finished. Also 1.4k gold on him as well. Seems like not only ROTK watches European Dota. KP, this is the classic S4 build. Maybe S4 build against the 4-head
that
lineup.
Works out pretty well. It all just falls into place, I guess, when you put it like that. Now, we saw S4 at the DAC? No. DAC?
DAC or
DAC
Kiev?
was the first time we got to see him play a
was
lot
DAC.
of that Enigma, Octarine Core, Midas, Black King Bar, and it just felt like he had a black hole for every freaking fight.
Yeah, right now with 15 cooldown reduction talent, Octarine Core, it's 100 seconds cooldown. Black hole, that's...
For a black hole, pretty sweet. Also factor in, of course, all the cooldown reduction that's going to be applied to that BKB and such. Midas, too. It's quite heavy value for your Enigma. But Faceless continue to match up. If the game tends to plateau a bit and it's not really advancing for one side or the other, it does still feel like Faceless farm a bit better across the map. Maybe that's the Arc Warden factor, and probably, of course, the Tinker, too. The fact that they can just be everywhere. But
the problem is they don't have response to the BKBs. Okay, 2 4 staffs are finished right now, almost. So that will be in their favor. But they don't have right-click damage. I mean, everything they have is pretty much magical. Once Troll tanks up, he already has 3k HP. It's so hard to take down. They will need to kite around a lot with those 4 staffs and not get caught by Clockwork or Big Black Hole.
Just dodging around the Troll and working around the BKB as it continues to tick down in time is probably Faceless' best chance here. But in the meantime, it is going to be Newbee able to move into pit, secure the Roche, secure the Aegis. Faceless trying their best to stall this one out. They have Ice, Ice, Ice getting a nice little bit of high ground teasing there. And in the top lane, that Tempest double. Wow. I mean, even though they're going to be able to bring it down, look how much damage it's actually able to do. Oh, okay. You said no right-click damage, but I don't know, man. This Tempest double is starting to pack a bit of a punch there. He also farms through all those Eidolons on top of it.
Yeah, if somehow Faceless can survive the black hole and fight after the BKBs are down, their lineup is so much stronger.
It definitely feels like a much slimmer chance of an opportunity here for Faceless in a lot of these fights, but you know, we've seen crazier things. All right, Newbee popped their smoke. I think it's about time. You got your Aegis. These BKBs are up. A black hole's up. It's time to move the game forward. Take a good fight. Clear out that maybe remaining tier 2 here in the mid lane and start trying to get to the high ground. Quick force and Ice Path will fend off the Troll.
That was his own 4-step. That's really quick reaction there.
Yeah, it was. XY's able to avoid a bit of trouble, but they've spotted Faith. Gets the sleep setup, and there's going to be the black hole. They're going to look to get rid of the Ravage. And they will. Ice 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 actually does have a buyback here. He's going to be out for over a minute. The follow-up takedown to XY looks effortless here for Newbee.
They even lost the gem on that Tidehunter. Still Aegis and Cheese on Troll and Queen of Pain. Tidehunter, does he have a buyback? No buyback.
Nope, not at all. And the pressure's coming down this mid lane. Faceless will do their best. The top and bottom lanes are pushing forward quite a bit for him, but looks like all it will do is probably, it could stop Newbee from moving into the high ground though. Look at this Black O. Oh my God, he's about to get to tier 3. They're gonna force out the glyph in 2 rotations. Okay, that is a little concerning.
Yeah, they need to get BOTs on someone, maybe Enigma or Troll. Okay, Enigma has BOTs, but he needs to be at the lane. And even with Malefice, I mean, it's 4 instances right now because of the talent tree. It's still not enough to stop that Arc Warden from split pushing. He needs +1 hero there.
What is that Arc Warden build-up starting to look like here? He is going for a Scotty on top of all that. Uh-oh, his temp is double. Gonna be swinging between 3 Newbee members here. The Blade Mail is doing most of the impact and damage. It might have to be Kaka who keeps these split pushes in check from the Arc Warden.
Enigma committed BKB there. I mean, it's a 7-second BKB left, but with his cooldown reduction, it's still not good to get it up to 5 seconds.
Yeah. Doesn't want to be forced to chew through a lot of it, but I guess when you're just caught in those situations, swinging with a Tempest double, if you want to preserve your life, you may be forced in that kind of situation. Here again already, the Tempest double. Like 2 Shadow Blades in the night. Black goes to the high ground now and tries to go for the finish onto the tier 3. Almost gets it.
Okay, Troll says it's enough, buys BOTs for himself as well. Well, Faceless can keep doing this.
Yeah, it's got to be super frustrating here.
Well, they got to go good lane defense, base defense with Ice Path, Tinker, and 2 bubbles. It's pretty much impossible to enter the base. When he places bubble down, you are forced to move there, so you can actually know where they're going to be, so you can land an Ice Path. And also, look at Tidehunter's build. Man, I love it. I love this. I love Ice.
Ooh. Now, this was changed a bit in 7.06, this Agnums. I believe something about how it reveals.
Yeah, it gives vision.
That's pretty interesting.
I mean, there's what only
Shadow Blade on Troll,
Silver Edge on Troll, yeah.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much it. But they're forced to go into bubble, so it will be AOE Gush.
And yeah, the minus armor that comes with it, just constant more spamming out of the waves. I like the get up here. It's the Blastoise build up almost for Ice, and Newbee kind of frantic to try to get themselves back across the map and being able to pressure the high ground once again. They get it to the bottom lane and the mid lane, but then the top lane's the one being pressured now. So this is just a constant juggle right now for Newbee to deal with, and that split pressure is going to get worse or even more difficult to handle over time as the items continue to accumulate here for both Jabs and Black. I mean, Black is getting, I'd imagine, near to critical mass though on his Arc Warden. You know, part of the game when you're playing, you know, the Alchemist, Meepo, Arc Wardens, is that they farm so damn fast, they also hit their peak so fast. It looks like he still has an Aquila he can replace, but what do you suppose he changes it out with, MKB or something like that?
Yeah,
oh,
probably an MKB. He needs a True Strike against Troll.
Kaka moves in. He doesn't immediately dish out the cogs here. He just walks back XY with the battery assault. Faith will follow it up, even committing in the Fiend's grip, and they'll take down the Troll. Ice continues to pressure through that top lane as best as he can, at least cuts down the creeps.
Queen of Pain just hit level 25 with 70% spell lifesteal and the Mjolnir, which she has enough money to buy it. It's the same thing as you have Satanic. It feels like it. You heal so much during the team fights, especially against like Liquid Fire and Macropyre, also March of the Machines. The Mjolnir proxies are really, really high.
That's the thing, and it could come back to bite the ass of Faceless. They have this wonderful lineup that when they can determine the battlefield, it's just chaos for Newbee. All those spells you listed exactly, it's just when they can determine where the fight's going to happen and they can just lay all that out, it's a tough, tough time for Newbee. Hence why they're pressured, of course, into those BKBs, blade mails, and any sort of way to stay alive. Lifesteal's going to help that.
Yeah, but Newbee also has some big guns in their pockets. Enigma getting close to Refresher. Again, they don't have anything to stop that black hole with. Maybe one thing Arc Warden could consider after he gets MKB, maybe just build into Basher.
Yeah, right?
Well, it's something. What is it, 10%?
I mean, if he gets up to Abyssal even, maybe he can somehow finagle his way towards the Enigma and knock him. It's tough, I know. But Faceless also, I imagine, going to be reserving a bit of investment for the buybacks in case they do get taken down from a uninterrupted black hole. They can at least bounce back with their second lives to defend out, but ain't going to be easy here. Newbee have already been stalking the pit a bit as they wait out for the Roche to come through. It's going to be just moments before it does spawn. And Newbee want first dibs, but they'll have to continue to maintain the ridiculous side pressure that continues to come out. You can see Black already through the top lane, going to be heading towards the high ground, but it does look like Mugi's going to be there to help slow him down.
Tempest double just died.
Yep. But Newbee are not really able to move forward yet. They just have to get all their ducks in a row, get their double black holes.
Well, that Basher might not be a bad idea, actually, with all that extra attack speed from Bloodlust and the bubble. He might actually score a bash right there.
We have a sheep stick about to come out here for jabs as well on this Tinker. Lots of extra lockdown will be very, very beneficial. Oh, they've spotted Kaka. They have the ward to the high ground. They hit him up with the Gush. They hit him with the Dagon. They hit him with the Ice Path. They hit him with everything. Oh, follow-up. Ravage going to be there, but KP already had the BKB popped. He's looking for a good lineup for possibly getting the black hole down, but Mugi is already going to be able to move in and finish off jabs. He's looking to go for the next target. KP still wallowing in. They're trying to sidestep him as best as possible. He's looking to make the go onto Black, fighting within the
Mineski field.
The Mineski field as Black makes his retreat. They can't quite get a hold of him. The Gush coming out from Ice manages to slow down Mugi a bit, and he's able to make it away.
Yeah, Ice says right there, all right, every time you cast Black Hole on me, I'm gonna cast Ravage, so you won't be able to black hole me. No point. Oh.
Ooh, Tempest double. Looking to go for the finish. Gets it there onto Faith, and we're not done yet. XY sliding into action right now. Mugi's gonna be forced to Shadow Blade away. They pop the dust. It actually connects. He rounds the corner. He's looking to wake his way out, and he ends up running right into XY. He gets the bash, and he will be able to chop the heads of the Ogre.
Wow, he lost the gem as well. Where's the gem? All right, Tide picked up some gem on the ground. Still, Black Hole was not committed into that fight. Enigma has enough gold to buy a Refresher Orb. I mean, we saw after Troll BKB is down, he really can't do much against all that slow, especially right now. Tidehunter has Aghanim Scepter finished.
Ooh. Looks like the Troll will be able to get off the ulti and just goes berserk mode onto that Tempest double. But he has to be there. It feels like if the Troll's not there, anyone that Arc Warden is able to get a hold of is in serious trouble. They need that bash lock to prevent him from getting his way. And Black, with MKB complete, only really needs to just replace the Midas at this point. He's got 2k gold saved up.
All right.
Now, heading
Daedalus, what it seems to be. Not enough gold though. All right, this is what, 4th or 5th Roche.
Faceless are waiting up on their side near their shrine. The Gushes continue to fly out from Ice. Now they send in the Tempest double. He's looking to isolate and take down Faith. Mugi again have to step in and take care of that double. But it's awkward for now. Newbee can't quite commit inside that pit. They're going to be keeping KP way behind here. Just when the action does strike, he can blink in with a good black hole setup. Macro Pyre going to be laid right inside the pit. That's going to force Newbee to step off. Look at this. Ooh. There's a sentry there.
Oh, there's Arcane Rune.
Whoa. Picked up from the Queen. That's value. Oh, Mugi. Rushing forward here a bit. Faceless still have their high ground positioning, though, on the other side. Black with a new double, moving in, spots out the weakest link in Faith, and again, Mugi has to step into his system, and they'll be able to bring it down. This is incredibly annoying for Newbee. They're not really advancing anything forward, and the spam of Faceless is just ridiculous.
Yeah, but Newbee's creeps managed to take down half HP on that mid tower, 2/3 actually. But, oh, Newbee, they want to wrap around with a smoke.
Currently is nuts in the top lane, but that is not. Oh no, Black! Oh, it's a double. Goes into Shadow Blade. They pop the dust and they'll take care of it. But hey, that's a Tempest double that spots out a smoke rotation from Newbee. That could have been nearly game ending. I think that's worth.
Well, Black does have a buyback. Tidehunter will have one soon. The problem is Tinker still doesn't have a buyback.
Age is now going to be picked up and put in the pocket of Moogie. Do Newbee need to wait that little bit of extra time before they can consider advancing this forward now with the benefit of the Aegis here? I know they have that headache to deal with on each of the side lanes. They're trying their best to maintain the order, but I don't know if you want to just continue to let the clock tick in this game against Faceless.
Yeah, their heroes are pretty much super full. All right, there's a hook shot. All right, again, and Tempest double. Enigma decided to go for Shadow Blade so he can maneuver through the fights and try to get a better black hole off. Do they have any detection? No gem on side of Faceless though. Okay, there is one, sorry. Tidehunter has it.
All right, for those of you just tuning in, we're 48 minutes into this one, the second game of this best of 3. It's do or die for both of these teams, Faceless versus Newbee. Newbee trying to get this to a game 3 stretch. Faceless would love to be able to creep past this and get into the next round. They get the sleep onto Black's Tempest double, who's simply trying to move in and go for the finish on that tier 3. Can't quite get it.
If he gets that tier 3, he can start sending Tempest double to kill the shrines as well.
Yep. Yeah, that's free money available to him, and removing that access point from Newbee's side near the Roche pit would actually be huge. Because for now, at least, Faceless are able to hold on to their shrines.
There's no big items coming out from Faceless. Jakiro and Ogre pretty poor. Tidehunter getting so close to half, maybe half money for that refresher orb. Tinker needs to save for a buyback, so no big items on him. Also, Arc Warden getting pretty much full there.
Yeah.
Can replace Midas, get a shard, refresher orb maybe if needed.
Some of those other Faceless members maybe just be banking on Black getting the finish of that tier 3 and then the shrines. It would be great money to share and to help Ice get that refresher, for example. But they are in a position right now where they're going to have to defensively hold what looks like the mid lane. Newbee are coming. They want a game 3. They're cutting up and over right now. They're happy to leave Moogie dangling out in front. He has the Aegis. Currently with the Satanic in his backpack to swap in once that Aegis does go down. Almost gives him a whole extra life on top of that.
Yeah, he has a 4k HP with the Satanic, and that life steal is just insane.
Black going to be pressuring through that top lane in the meantime here. Newbee, though, are determined to come in here and at least grab these tier 3s. A tier 3 takedown would allow them to take the shrines and feel more comfortable on Roches in the future. There's the move in. They're going to get the black hole. It's only for Ice in hopes of taking him out of this one. He will immediately buy back. KP will probably prepare the second black hole for this instance now. The buyback comes out and Newbee head the other direction, it would appear, as they're going to be chased out from the base. They will grab a hold of the Troll and be able to bring down that Aegis.
No BKB on Troll.
He comes back. He has a Satanic to work with, but he's getting locked in from this ice path and just tries to shred into the Tempest double, but he's living. He is muscling past it all, but Black comes in from behind and will help him get the finish. Dominating now.
His team ditched him, though.
Yeah, they were, good luck, sir. They didn't even get the tier 3 down. All they got was the buyback, and they were just content on trying to bail out, but Faceless are able to get the catch, and certainly makes it well worth it.
Troll needs the buyback here right now. Enigma.
Okay.
Oh, what Enigma?
He has one more black hole, right?
No. 40 seconds for black hole, and
he didn't have refresher. I thought he was getting a refresher.
Yeah, he has enough money to buy it if he sells the Midas, but doesn't have enough gold for buyback and refresher.
This is big. for Faceless right now. But can they get the force out of the buyback? They get the finish on that tier 3 in the bottom lane, and it looks like they'll just be content with taking that and taking the shrine.
Well, they still have 40 seconds. It's hard to push against Midnight Pulse. Lasts 11 seconds, cooldown 19 seconds.
That's
That's
really
insane.
nice. And its damage is just continuing to scale so nicely.
Yeah, but one thing they do have, Ravage, all right, Refresher is finished on Enigma.
Okay.
Plus buyback ready.
Will this be one of those big moments where Faceless don't suspect the Refresher available and it's going to hit
Big
him where
Ravage.
it hurts? The Ravage step-in's going to be there, though, for Ice, and they look to burst down the Queen of Pain. They're going to get her down. She has to immediately buy back. Faith going to be dropping next. There goes the black hole. It will get a good grab onto Jabs, and it will help SCCC get the finish there. A follow-up on the Ice is also certain. They will both end up going down. The rest of Faceless have already bailed out.
Enigma even used Refresher, so they will go all in right now. Troll is out, no buyback on that Tidehunter.
Here comes Newbee, going coast to coast now the other direction. They do not have their Tidehunter for 100 seconds. Jabs does have a buyback. What can Newbee do from this? They got to hold on if they want to stay alive in this tournament. Are they going to be able to do it here? Mugi heading through and up to that mid lane, gets welcomed with a stun, welcomed with an ignite. The ice path's there. KP thinking about moving in, can't quite find the connection for a good black hole on that one. And now they start up the troll. Black, though, doesn't want to commit in too hard here. They're dropping down sentries, but they don't want to grab the gem.
Courier just died. I think it had all the components for Daedalus or something, or maybe even a whole rapier. I don't know what was there, because Black doesn't have any gold.
Oh, hence why he's playing so ridiculously careful. If he goes down, he doesn't have a buyback or anything.
Wow.
Oh, the courier went down inside their own
Yeah,
base.
Courier died, but I didn't see what it has.
Bit of trouble here for Faceless. Newbee have not stepped off the front porch, and now the BKB is going to be popped. Mugi looking to move in and tries to go for the tower finish. He will be able to get it, has to step inside the bubble to do so, and then walks back out the other direction once they grab it. Now shrines are available to him, and it looks like they're going to be beelining it that way to take the first one down. Oh, or is it a fake back? KP posturing up in hopes of landing the home run black hole. Oh, they're going to spot Black. He immediately Shadow Blades. If he gets caught with a black hole and taken down, this game could be over. KP moves in regardless, gets hit with a Dagon.
Enigma.
They pop him with the Lotus Orb.
Whoa.
He is able to make it away from trouble, but they do get the burst onto Nuts. Jagiro's going to be taken down. They're going to be looking to go for XY next. They slowly shred him apart. He hides under the Glimmer Cape, but the Orchid will burn on through and secure the Queen of Pain the kill.
Oh, maybe he could have healed himself with an urn and survived there.
Very tense high ground defense here. Black trying his best to use that Tempest double defend him off. KP moves in. He's able to get a hold of Ice. The team needs to be there to help finish him off. He turns around. They're able to get the Greaves, and the Gust is going to be unleashed. KP will be going down, and it's time for Faceless to get Newbee off their doorstep. Ice moves in, sets up a nice Ravage, connects onto 2. They're looking to go for the burst finish. Can they get the Kaka down? Yes. 3 get dropped from Newbee's side, and it's going to be Faceless now to turn and go the other direction.
Enigma a little bit slow on that second BKB after he refreshed. He might have pulled off the second black hole as well. What do they have? Who has a buyback? No.
Only on the Enigma right now.
Sadly for Faceless, Roche is still not up.
Haste. Going to be grabbed up from Ice instead, and here comes Faceless now. Muscling their way back towards this mid lane. Buyback is there. Newbee worked so hard. They had nearly a 20K net worth advantage at one point. And now Faceless have suddenly just brought the game back yet again and are about to possibly 2-0 Newbee out of this tournament unless they can try to stay alive. Black is doing some wonderful side pressure on the bottom half of the base. And that Rax is suddenly brought down to what, half of its life? It's only got about an eighth of its life left.
Faceless men are coming for you, Newbee. Winter is coming. What you gonna do next?
Oh, that was nice. They are banking that this was going to be a quick time Roche, though, was Faceless, and it's not going to be the case. So they'll head back the other direction here. What a game.
Oh, Roche is gonna be up in what, 1 minute?
Maybe we'll get the time to get the double black holes, double BKB back up on KP. But Faceless' positioning inside their base has been very stellar. Tough for Newbee, and in particular KP, to kind of get a good grab. And as we saw, even if he's able to get the grab onto Ice, unless the Newbee team is going to be throwing themselves inside, they can't finish him off.
Yeah, once the BKBs are down, it's pretty much impossible for Newbee to fight. They rely so much on a good black hole on that Tidehunter again. Okay, that was a full dataless actually on Arc Warden.
There it is in hand, and now he hits like a frickin' truck. And when those BKBs goes off, I mean, even if they're able to get in the base and try to dish off the damage, you have to fear the Tinker too. You're looking at Black as the serious damage dealer, but Jabs is like that utility Tinker who keeps dishing out the constant lockdown, the sheeps and the lasers. It's just so problematic.
Queen of Pain made Lincoln Sphere just to give maybe that troll extra something for Hex.
Yeah, Hex or laser, anything. Just another protective shell.
Yeah, they have one Lotus Orb on Clockwork. But BKBs are down to 5 seconds, and that's the big problem for Newbee. Also, Queen of Pain, 2 cheeses, not 1, 2 cheeses.
That's Gouda. Gouda. Bottom lane, it looked like Faceless were able to make an approach, and I thought they were going to just grab a hold of the shrine, but it looks like they don't have the time for it. Banking on the idea that the Roche is probably going to be back up soon, they head coast to coast the other direction, up through the river to see if they can get maybe a grab here. A lead in Ravage. They're hoping to get the burst onto Mugi. Can they take him out? Yes, they can. He's going to be out. 100 seconds. No buyback. The follow-up on the Kaka is also going to be here. I think Faceless have just found their window. Kaka, though, gets the hook shot out from trouble, and it looks like Faceless have found another. It's going to be Faith. He gets dropped. The buyback's going to be forced. KP looking to go for the turnaround. Black hole play. Mugi rushing into action is going to help get the burst finish onto not 1 but 2. Ice should be dropped as well. Black takes his exit. Newbee stay alive.
Wow, Troll had to commit to a buyback there. There's another black hole. Do they have a buyback on Ogre?
No.
Okay, no Ogre, no PhD. All right.
Just Ice with a buyback at the moment. And it doesn't look like Faceless want to contest at all here. They already have Black, who's going to rush himself up into the base real fast to try to hit the racks. But Newbee are going to get their Aegis. And without question, Troll's going to get it. He already had to use that buyback. He needs that second life.
Nothing unusual there. 2 cheeses on Queen of Pain. 1 even dropped at the Roche pit. Classic Chinese Dota from a few years ago, huh?
Oh, yeah. I like how they got the Tinker Ward down, too, in that bottom lane. Just in case they want to get the jump on Jabs as they continue to try the split pressure. All right, so KP obviously already using that refresher, getting it on cooldown. It's already less than a minute before he's going to have double black holes again.
Yeah,
Quite
it's
ridiculous.
Just insane with
quite ridiculous.
Talent reduction and the Octarine core. Thank you, S4.
Mugi will take care of that Tempest double, and Newbee are slowly bringing the lane on the bottom back forward and making the full rotation all the way up into the mid for yet another approach to the high ground here. It looks like Faceless are not going to have to chew through any sort of buybacks. They're going to have everyone at the ready for this, and we'll have to see if Faceless can do it again.
Faceless, surprisingly, 60-minute game, they still didn't lose a single rack.
Yeah, their high ground defense has been quite ridiculous here. Newbee will be able to take down the second shrine. And Faceless are going to be forced to continue to wait indoors till they can kind of get a read on what Newbee's approach is.
I don't actually remember seeing Aghanim Scepter on Tidehunter ever in a pro game.
I've seen it.
Might
I
be
even
my
want to
bad
see that
memory
Ice has even picked it up in a past game. I will tell you it has not been in recent time, that's for sure.
But the item is doing its work.
Yeah, it's doing a great job spamming out the waves. It's connecting onto everyone from Newbee, adding the additional slow on top of your liquid fire and your flux and everything else. The minus armor obviously going to be helping as well for the Arc Warden to be able to hit it home. It's great value already.
Arc Warden is full, 6 slotted, Moon Shard, Hand of Midas.
I mean, Rapier is really the only other way you can go now. If Faceless feel like they need to. Oh, Boogie's in the lane, drops down. They're gonna get some good damage on this troll. Holy snap, they almost got his Aegis. They almost got his Aegis with this Tempest double. Holy snap, they almost got Faith too. Oh man. Yeah, Black is quite the beast.
Well, maybe they will still not push with this Aegis. Or how Nahas calls it, Aegis. Is that Latin? Hey.
I'm not going down this road. I'm gonna stick with my Aegis.
We were having a discussion yesterday in the van.
I can't remember what it led in by that. Oh, Boogie. This time we'll get revenge on that double.
All
Take
right.
it down.
Troll even has Refresher Orb to refresh that BKB and Satanic. Mostly BKB. He really can't fight when BKB is on cooldown.
Ice is still sitting on a good chunk of change here. Obviously needs to preserve a bit of it for his buyback, but game goes on a bit. He may be able to squeeze in a refresher on top of it. And Newbee are still not able to kind of advance on forward. It's just a very difficult time for him to be able to get closure in this game. At one point, as you can see, a 30k XP advantage. I believe it was a 20k gold advantage. Still hold a good chunk of that, but we're at the point of the game where that stuff that really doesn't matter. Oh, look at that double. Gets SCCC down to half of its life. It's going to be forced to blink on back.
It's a 500 crit damage with True Strike, Slow, and Mjolnir procs. Illusion.
It's crazy. And it's something Newbee have to keep taking care of.
Since both teams have a gem, there is only one ward on the map, and that's on Faceless side. So pretty much black map for Newbee.
Back to the top lane for Black. And the pressure's already going to be there. Just as Newbee are like coming together in this bottom lane to maybe consider an advancement, they're again going to have to fall back and deal with the split pressure. This could be a long game.
There is a double damage on Queen of Pain. Maybe it's time to try to chop some towers now. Or maybe not.
Easier said than done. I mean, easier said than done. This is a struggle for Newbee right now. And I'm sure this is carpal tunnel syndrome for both Black and Jabs. Having to constantly jump around with these boots of travel and pressure the side lanes as much as possible.
All right, what Arc Warden can do, he can maybe swap Silver Edge for one more damage item. Let's say Rapier, or he can buy a Refresher Orb, just try to split push more. He has a 10 seconds cooldown talent reduction, so with a Refresher Orb. This game might not end for the next, let's say, 20, 30 minutes even.
Again, the hunt for the double. Got him. You know, it's a lot of little bits of money adding up every time they get that double down, but, you know, we're at the point of the game where does it really matter? I mean, Black is happy to pay the 180 gold or whatever it is to get Newbee off their back from pushing in the base. Certainly worth it. Oh, look at this, a draw. Game plan from Faceless. They actually adventure away from the base, and they're heading all the way down south, maybe anticipating the possible approach of Newbee, and they want to be able to punish him. Maybe get the jump on him. Newbee at the moment haven't rotated at all, but it's a possible.
They placed one, let's say, deep ward. It's on the middle of the map, but it's a deep ward considering how game is going. Oh, right now Black trying to kill the last shrine.
Looks like he'll get it.
Oh, man.
No one making the approach to Faceless on the bottom half of the map right now. And you said before, Newbee are kind of stuck a bit in the dark, so they're also hanging very close together here. Not sure where Faceless could approach from if they're not going to be inside their base. But it looks like Faceless have waited around long enough through that bottom lane, and they're going to have to take their exit. And they'll just throw in the Black double again. making his move. Can he burst down this clockwork? Not yet. He's getting really close to killing these guys with a double. I mean, they're so lucky that they have those other Newbee members around, because these would be easy picks for Black otherwise.
So let's talk about talents and levels. Enigma, Clock, Troll, Queen of Pain. Only Bane is not level 25, and his talent trees are not that good. Don't provide anything in this kind of game. Oh, Jakiro just hit level 25 plus 25 seconds ice path duration. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal. We see multiple times where these heroes are able to escape with just fractions of life left, and the extra few seconds on that ice path could make the difference. How about Ice Ice Ice? Was he able to get the finish on that refresher plus maintain?
He's saving up for a refresher orb.
Yeah, he's got 4,300 gold. He's getting closer, but it's still going to take quite a bit of time. A very valuable pickup, though, for Faceless.
Only one who is not level 25 outside of Faceless is Ogre, but he's slowly getting there. He has a good talent on level 25, plus 40 bloodlust attack speed. Even Spell Amp is good. He deals, let's say, decent amount of damage with his Fire Blast and Multicast.
I suppose he'd go for the bloodlust though, right? Yeah, for sure. He's getting close to it, but still has a little ways. Faceless currently hanging through this mid lane right now, and Newbee on the opposite, waiting on the high ground for a possible approach. Very awkward standoff right now. Hook, and it's a miss. A move in from KP. He gets the Malphus, but quickly Faceless forced the other direction. A jump-in Ravage is going to be coming out. Only finds minor connection. This fight going to get split right down the middle. Black looking to open up, but he gets quickly taken down. The double going to be taken out of this one now. KP committing in with the black hole. Only gets the catch onto XY, but it will help eliminate both supports from the side of Faceless. And as you said, no buyback available for either of them.
Whoa.
All right, Newbee take an advantage in this fight. They'll get back to the mid lane and start walking down and into the base.
But if you're Newbee right now, you don't know if they have a buyback, so of course you want to try to force it, but they should be careful. There's another black hole on Enigma.
Yep. Ice 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 dancing in front.
Oh,
Black
the damage!
Hiding under his bubble! Oh my! My finest creation, says the frog. The troll is down. He's out for 2 minutes without a buyback. Oh my god. I just witnessed a murder.
I just
crazy.
heard Nahaz screaming like a baby.
It was crazy. All right, now Newbee take their exit. They try to go for the Roche, but they're like, what are we doing? We don't have troll. How can we do this? Faceless heading that direction now too. Obviously going to be looking to push down this mid lane and force out that buyback. But KP, as he steps in, tries to go for the black hole, but it gets quickly canceled out. Now they're jumping from Kaka with a Sonic Wave combo, looking to go for jabs. He gets bumped back in, hiding within the bubble. Black beginning to go to work here. Can't quite get the finish for Faith. The double will get dropped. Jabs goes down, does have a buyback.
They should buy back and try to fight there and finish the game. It's going to be another Aegis. All right, never mind. Look at the damage. It's too late.
Yeah, they got it. They got it down. Ice 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 will try to help out. That blind hook, not going to find a catch there from Kaka. Could have been huge, but doesn't get it. 70 minutes in, Newbee now trying to close it out for what feels like the 6th time, the umpteenth time.
I stopped counting after 5th Roche. I don't know, this might be the 7th Roche, actually.
You know Black has buyback too. I mean, they have trouble fending off a double. You have to do a double, you have to do Black, you have to do the buyback, and then maybe another double. It's crazy.
All right, Tidehunter is all in, no buyback, but he has that refresher. But, from what I saw, it's better to just cast a Ravage, maybe even miss it, than to have a Ravage and then your Enigma is just gonna go on you.
Yeah. I mean, you may even mind game it a bit. Let's say he makes a quick immediate jump with a Ravage, it misses. Newbee don't notice he has the refresher, and he suddenly turns around with a second Ravage. Never know. Double going to be taken care of in the top lane here. But Faceless continued to stay alive.
What is that?
No
Team Newbee starts to look like a cheese shop. 2 on Queen of Pain, 1 on Clockwork, 1 on Bane.
You know you could eat it. You don't have to preserve it, all right? It's not something you want to have for lunch tomorrow, you know? It's something you might want to snack on in case you... The problem is they get bashed down to hell. And unless you can force feed someone on your team a cheese, like just shove it down their gullet, it's tough. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, like, oh, maybe
Ooh,
something like using a mango on an ally. Like using a cheese for half of value.
Taking notes here, the frog. Octarine Core was also picked up from Black. So what did he change out with? No, for now, the Octarine Core is actually sitting in his backpack. I suppose when he uses his double, he throws it in?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
this is new meta, far advanced Arc Warden tactics that I don't know.
Have not been seen before. So he can put Octarine Core in inventory, swap maybe Silver Edge, TP, have a lower cooldown on that Tempest double for the next time. It's 27 right now. Let's check with Octarine Core. Do it, swap it.
Nah, he wants to hold it. I don't know, saving it for that special moment. Here's Newbee now, still comfortable being across the river. Black mending the top lane. I've said these words before, many times. It's just so damn tough, and we're getting to the point where it doesn't feel like there's a new item that's going to be able to come in and make this any different. It's just whether it comes down to that one freak fight.
There is a sight on Queen of Pain and
top
Shard.
lane. They made a jump. Oh, it's for the Tempest double. We'll take it down. Out of the corner of my eye, I always see like a solo teal icon, and I fear for Black, but his double continues to put in the work to try to stall things out here for Faceless. And they're going to be granted enough time that Ice will not have to be all in. He's going to have his buyback money.
Yeah, he needs to farm that 1k to get buyback. But Newbee, they're afraid to go on the high ground.
I mean, I would be afraid after what I saw last time. I would be very afraid. The Arc Warden is obviously the final boss in this one, and Newbee are wondering if they need to get cheat codes to make it work now. I mean, they've been holding on to an Aegis now for a while. What's the timing between the Aegis and the buyback available of Troll? Are they trying to wait for that window of time when they'll be able to have the extra life?
They want to have the buyback control before they try to push.
Of course. So, I mean, it's a matter of just playing with the clock at the moment. Not going to be revealing anything too exciting within...
or maybe not.
Okay,
they're in.
Newbee pop their smoke and begin to make their run down and through the mid lane. XY is going to get himself back indoors here.
Worthy tribute.
Where's the approach going to be coming from here from Newbee? Black's already sent his double to the top lane. If Newbee don't take advantage of this little bit of time, they're going to have to yet again double back and deal with the side lane pressure. And everybody on Faceless, it's not like any of these heroes just feels irrelevant for this game. Bloodlust is still constantly very important. Jakiro's spamming of the waves and the ice path connections are still very, very valuable. Ravage and the Gush Agnums is great. Jab split pressuring and laser. Everyone has a place on this Faceless team still. It's not like, oh, well, the support really has no place in this game anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is, Tinker can get more items. He can sell Bloodstone, can get BOTs level 2, and his Dagon is actually level 4.
All right, looks like Newbee took that opportunity to really get down some offensive vision, it would appear. Faceless are going to take the moment to maybe dish out the scan to see if Newbee are still around. They'll see that's not the case and begin to head up towards their ancient camp. It looks like they might also already take care of one of the wards that was just planted by Newbee.
Oh god, I wish, they wish they had Lone Druid in this game. Have like Lone Druid with 9 items, Bear with 6 items.
The ultra late gamer.
You don't know what to buy anymore. I mean, Queen of Pain has just a casual Demon Edge in a backpack for the Rapier later on, and saving just gold for buyback. Has the
Smoke
refresher
from Faceless.
queued up.
Okay. This is not something we've been seeing the past recent patterns here. Faceless considering to make their move in. It's Kaka out in front. Who's going to get hit first? The follow-up Ravage is there, but the counter Black Hole right on top of Ice. He does have that refresher. takes himself up to the other side, still holding on for the best that he can, but being brought down very low. There's the follow-up Black Hole. It's only going to be able to catch the double,
Black.
it would appear. No, Black is in it. It is Black. He's caught inside. He will go down. He does have a buyback. XY, frantic to force himself out. It looks like him and Nuts could be in a bit of trouble. SCCC will be able to get the jump onto Nuts and takes him down. Jabs frantic, goes to the top lane to mend the pressure a bit, but it looks like Black will finally have to be forced into a buyback position.
All right,
This is Newbee's time, and there's the buyback already.
he should commit to that buyback, maybe even earlier to have the cooldown.
Yeah, no, it's definitely at that point where you just you have to buy back right away to get the cooldown started. Whew, XY almost spotted out there from KP and taken, but
They still have one more Ravage because Tidehunter used Refresher.
yep.
What else is there? Did anyone buy back there besides Black? No.
The thing is it doesn't look like Newbee are comfortable at all pushing. They committed both of their Black Holes. So maybe they don't know if they have enough comfortable team fight. They were probably going to be moving on forward to at least force up the buyback, but now that's already been committed, they don't have to do that. So looks like they're just going to have to step back for now and wait for the next opportune approach here to take advantage of this time when Black will not have a buyback available to him.
What is Jabs doing? Like, he's sitting on 8 Bloodstone charges, struggling to get to those
Oh no.
6th, 7th, and 8th item.
Oh, Black spotted out KP. Jabs on the other side. And there's Moogie. The Tempest double cleaner. He takes care of it.
That guy killed like 20, 25 Tempest doubles, maybe even more.
He's getting lots of free money for him, but it's really all on him to stop that split pressure of Black.
If you're Faceless right now, you don't want to do any kind of smokes. You just want to wait for that buyback on AC. AW, actually. Can you give me some water? Thank
Here
you.
you go, brother. A long, enduring one. We're going into the late for this one here. Newbee will spot out XY, make the hook shot in. They'll bump him on forward. They'll even commit the Fiend's Grip too. Nuts dishes out everything he has to offer to catch him at that choke point. The buyback going to get forced out from XY. Black's double begins to go to work, right-clicking down. SCCC.
Whoa!
Ice steps in.
The Ravage.
Gets off the Ravage, and like you said, the Queen of Pain will be able to narrowly blink away, but Moogie might not be so fortunate here. He's able to Shadow Blade and hide on out, but Black continues to go to work. Moogie now looking to isolate, get a hold of Jabs. There's going to go the Black Hole. It catches onto 2. It'll allow him to get the finish of Jabs. Jabs going to be forced to buy back immediately. KP goes for his own refresher, and Ice goes down. This might be the opportunity for Newbee now to get the game after so much long and hard work. It's Jabs, though, still tantalizing, teasing him a bit, forcing him back and away from the base. Same for Nuts, all the way on the other side. He'll finally be brought down. SCCC will get that one. But another buyback going to get forced. So both Jakiro and Ogre do not have a buyback. This is all on the trifecta of Jabs, Black, and Ice to hold this one out. After so much work, the move in, the Ravage is there. It finds wonderful connection onto 5. The finish is going to be there for Faith, it looks like.
Does he want a buyback on Queen of Pain?
I don't know. The move is there. Trying to rush away is going to be Kaka. Ice already looking for who's behind that. He's able to get the hook shot onto KP nearby. But look who's chasing in. The Black Hole to go for Ice and take him out of the game. And they've got it. He's out of this one for nearly 2 minutes. And now it's just Jabs and Black. Oh, Jabs has been caught behind the Rex. They will instantly sheep him and take him out.
No
the
buyback.
opening that Newbee have been waiting for. This one is only on Black. And this man, I don't think, can do it alone. His double is going to be taken down immediately. And Newbee said, we have had enough. They're going to be going in for the Tier 4 to finish it out. The glyph comes out for now, but no more buybacks are available. And it looks like Newbee, after 80 minutes time, have finally been able to put this one to bed. And they've earned their Game 3. Wow.
Listen to the crowd.
What a ridiculous battle to have to go through. That one was exhausting, I'd imagine, for both teams. Quite ridiculous. Our first Arc Warden game of this tournament, and that's what we get.